Bronny can go in front of ESPN.
Nigga, my mama gonna go to war, nigga. I don't give a fuck how old she is or how old I am. So if I got a pops, that nigga gonna do this. Well, he better do this. That's right.
Yeah. But now we're opening the door for all of these parents to start coming out and protecting their kids.
If you think that's bad, wait till you see Shadour.
Right, it's about to get worse.
Dianna already doing that. We all saw what we saw, and you know what we saw.
That's elementary school.
No.
That's all
when you a teammate, he push him like, man, like, let's go. He push him like, get off of me.
Get off of me.
Get off me.
No, don't touch me.
Was it worth the $30,000? Now? In the moment.
In that moment.
He was up. You remember? Was it bingo night or was it? 44. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy, but keep it high level. This is gonna just give you the beats, and I give you my opinion at the end on all of these topics. But what's going on? The core issue is the carriage rights fee.
First of all, start off the right way. Exactly. Let me start out like this. This is why I'm broke and you got money. This whole Dak Prescott saga.
What are those? On the field, I got metric after metric. He's a winner. Okay, he's number one in all categories for the Dallas Cowboys first 5 seasons. Off the field, unquestionable character. Like, the only thing you got on Dak Prescott is,
I am undefeated. Oh, come on. And me playing basketball, and I just want to line up.
He's getting up.
And show. Yeah, we doing this for real. This is what I do. I want to go rebound. Shoot.
This one?
Cut that up, baby. This boy, it's wet time. That's what I do.
I still don't know why this is a pick, except exceptional play by the defender. Look at that. 2 dudes reaching, and then he comes between them and say, let me split this bunk bed. And I'm out of here. Shotgun snap, slips. Oh, that's a sack on your first play ever in the NFL. Y'all know your nightmares came true. You're like, God dang. Oh, yeah, this ain't it. Look at this blitz right here.
I mean, he only knows so much what he's reading off stats, off paper. I mean, everything's good on paper. But I would always love to hear it from a player because they play the game.
What about a journalist? Like, being real, NARPs are journalists. Like, you're from that pool, right? So imagine somebody just said, you didn't play the game. I don't want to hear it.
She would have a living room full of people at about 10 p.m. probably every other Friday or Saturday. Come up here and I already know what they want, and I got to sing whatever song I got.
Did you say song. Sing, not rap? You said sing, huh?
Sing. Yeah, they ain't trying to hear no rap. They ain't trying to hear no rap. Yeah.
Well, you think you can do something with that? Hey man, Michael Jordan too light in the tail. Okay, you know what, big dog? Yes. I'm light in the tail. If you want some of this, let's go one-on-one right now. Let's go,
Everyone's playing the hits, but I'm a DJ. And one thing I know from my DJing experience is that you don't just play the hits. You play things that people haven't found out about yet. Discovery. Not up to me. I don't have this ego where I'm a buck, talk trash, and be like, yo, I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm gonna be like this. All right, I got enough talent. I got enough belief in me. I know what I want to do. Yep, let me go do it. Wah, 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 wah. What's cracking like it, macking from the jack end to the back end? What's going on? How y'all feeling today? Because the G's is up, Weez is up, and we about to get into this today. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and become a member. You're like, dog, you ain't even said nothing yet. I ain't doing none of that. Nah, let's get it in today because we're going to talk about why ESPN ignored the Vrabel and Russini affair. Some are saying they knew back in 2020. You know they got receipts. So we're going to talk through that. Of course, Stephen A is getting called out for putting fame first over his talent. They call him a fame chaser. Ooh, Steve Stout is going there, and he has a fabulous breakdown, even if you don't agree with it. Why do grown men love WrestleMania and wrestling WWE? That's pretty funny. We're going to get into that. Rob Parker is challenging Mark Henry about that, and I know a lot of y'all like it. So we're going to have to talk through that, see what's going on. Y'all stuck in y'all childhood. Let's go for real. Michael Irvin blasts ESPN on their coverage. He got some receipts and some of the graphics, especially what happened with Ruben Bain. We all know that. Not a good look. We're going to talk about the top 10 offensive linemen in history. There's a list circulating, and a lot of former players like myself is like, let's go through this list. And we're going to have a new little segment. We're going to finish off the show with a Q&A. That means y'all go in the chat, ask some questions, and I will answer them. Yeah, we can have some fun. I was like, man, I got to do more for y'all instead of just reading y'all names. I said, get these people some love. They got some questions and stuff. So let's just do it slowly but surely. We're going to start dripping into it. What's cracking, lacking, macking? Okay, so now this show is about to get cracking. And the first thing I want to show you guys, you always got tidbits. We always got to get started with some fun facts, some notes around the world of sports, little things to big dogs like us. And I don't know where should I start, but I think this is be a good place right here. Yeah. So y'all ever just wake up like me, feeling great about life? It's all a mindset, really it is, because sometimes I wake up like, dog, go back to bed. And then at the same time, be like, nah, it's time to go get it. So I want y'all to be unbothered. I want y'all to really be unbothered. Peep this video right here. This is unbothered. Now, it's pretty violent. Wake your ass up, all right? I don't need the sound. Look at this. This is how unbothered you got to be. First of all, this is somewhere in Russia, and they over there just jump out the car. First of all, I love when you go to Europe. They be like, man, I got a bunch of money, but I ride in anything. Look at him. This is who we watching right here. This is my man. Peep this. He is walking by a shootout. Oh, my God. I mean, he just walked by a shot. He ain't even turned back around. Look, he is just dipping. They are literally shooting guns. Did he even slow down? Nobody turned the lights on. Like, this must be normal behavior over there. Look, he's still walking. Come on, y'all. He doing the most. So it cracks me up because, a lot of times in America, everybody want to have the hardest hood. I'm from the hardest hood. I'm from the Calio. I'm from the NOLA. I'm from Memphis. I'm from Compton. I'm from the South Side. I'm from O-Block. I'm from the Bronx. Ain't nobody from there. Whoever from there, that dude he just watched somebody just do a straight up drive-by and he's just like, What time is it, Margaret? I'll be home in 20 minutes, right? So that's how gangster you got to be, unbothered, right? All right, let's get into this. Let's get into some gangster guarantees. I just want to show you guys a little bit about the money. So the guarantees for the last 20 number one overall picks, 2007, Jamarcus Russell was $32 million. Then it goes to Jake Long, $30 million. And then it's Matthew Stafford, a quarterback, but a quarterback that they knew was going to hit. Unfortunately, Jamarcus, they had their questions about you because that contract doesn't look the same, but it is 2 years later, inflation, et cetera. Then Sam Bradford is the one. Remember? I remember seeing Sam Bradford in 2010 right before or after. I think it was after at Coachella. And I was like, that dude got a lot of money, or he getting a lot of money. I forget which one it was. But the point is, after him, no more. They said, no. Rookie wage scale. So then they went to Cam Newton. Damn, they had to do it when the brother was number one. And then Andrew Luck like, oh, God, why couldn't I be born 2 years? If Andrew Luck was before Sam Bradford, he would have got $200 million. Unreal. Eric Fisher. Oh, yeah, the lineman. I forgot about him. Jadavian, that would have been a fun fact. Who would have got that right? Eric Fisher was the number one overall pick. I forgot. Jadavian Clowney. Look, it just stuck right there. And then Jameis Winston said, nah, hold my crab legs. And then he said, let me get this back up. Then Jared Goff said, excuse me, let's go higher. Then Myles Garrett as a lineman. Myles Garrett been eating since hello. He's still eating. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. All right, now it's creeping up, and quarterbacks are taking over. Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Trayvon Walker. Damn, that's another fun fact I would have lost. Trayvon Walker, number one overall pick. What year? What are you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? Bryce Young. Eat, brother. Caleb Williams. Okay. Cameron Ward. Yes. And Mendoza. 57? This is with a wage scale? You mean y'all over here limiting how much we can get and we still getting 57 before we take one snap in the end of the FFL? That's crazy. Boy, that's a lot of money. They wouldn't have got here without wisdom. They wouldn't have got here without guidance. They wouldn't have got here without no triple OGs. Let's hear one.
I didn't know until
that never was the goal.
This is Jeremiah Love. And if you don't know his story, let's just say he could have went other places and got a lot more NIL money than staying where he did at Notre Dame and becoming the guy, and even was a backup when he first started there. So his dad is kind of telling him how he navigated him through it all. All right, with that bacon neck. Look at that bacon neck collar. Come on, Daddy. You got that money now. You got to get that collar out. Come on, pop your collar. Your son made it.
The goal was just to be great and to be better every day. So we never, in the process, and that's what's so crazy about life, because you don't really get to live it. You know, we always going to work and you're wondering about, I got to pay this, I got to pay that, I got to do this, and you miss the moments. You know,
life gets in the way of living. Never forget that. That's a Wileyism. He just said it. Basically, sometimes you can be living life and not living. Be careful, y'all. Wake up out of that spell of consciousness, okay? That level of consciousness has a grander level of even more consciousness. We're all conscious. We ain't walking around here unconscious. We ain't walking around here like that. But still, there's levels in that consciousness.
Miss the moment. So in hindsight now, I see all the benchmarks that led us to this place, to this position. So it was never, we go into the NFL. You know, when he chose to go to Notre Dame, he turned down a lot of money. We turned down some 7 figures, bro.
Hey, real spit. I had the same decision, not with 7 figures though, bro. Not with NIL, but the goal was never the NFL, like end all be all eggs in that basket. And you can still make it. So my point of saying this is, y'all got to understand, stop yelling at these 10-year-old Pop Warner games. Stop yelling at these AAU tournaments. For what? Your kid could literally be 18 years old, one of the best in the country, and not even thinking about ball and still can make it, right? Think about it. There's so many windy roads to the top. Stop getting upset if you don't predict or you don't expect the road you're on to get there. It may get there. Also, a road that looks so smooth and paved, the yellow brick road, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way they want. It's not a pot of gold at the end. So it goes all different ways.
And he was like, hey, I'm going to get that. I'm going to earn it anyway. So and he was like, Dad, you always told me to earn it the hard way. And I just want to earn it before I get to enjoy it. So when he started telling me that in high school, that he wanted to earn it, and we decided to go to Notre Dame, and he had to sit behind, you know, Estime and the other running backs, JD. So he was patient, but he was still he still knew that he was going to eventually be the guy. So his strength, his inner strength, I know that he's going to make a difference. So I say his junior year, I started saying maybe, but I didn't really recognize it and realize it until his name was called, and it just overwhelmed me with that. Like, damn, we're actually going to the NFL. Who would have thought it?
Pop's all choked up, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he just said, look, my son built himself from the inside out. Mentally tough, wanted to endure, wanted to earn his opportunity so that he can actually go out there and know what it's about, right? Simple as that. So, hey, obviously he was raised by a good man who gave him some great ethics and great wisdom to go with. Now, this one is hilarious. We also saw Arvell Reese. Y'all know Arvell Reese? Well, he's making an online presence right now because some of his responses to things. Let's just hear it before I get my jokes off. Y'all got to hear this dude.
Ask that one more time.
Where are you looking to make an impact in the veteran community and the disability with the children this year in the NFL?
I haven't. I don't know how to answer that right now.
Going from a 1.0 in high school to a 3.7 in college.
I actually had a 0.4 in high school.
Who are you looking forward to meeting the most in the Giants?
Who I'm looking forward to meeting? Jackson Dart, you know, QB.
I gotta stop it because of the music. They probably gonna cut it off anyway. Blah, blah, blah. It gets crazier. This dude is hilarious. Now, they making jokes saying the left brain and the right brain ain't connected in his head, but sometimes you just meet a ball player, right? And If you're a ball player, you're a ball player. You're like, what? What are we talking about? Like the dude asked me some deep charitable question. He's like, I just got here. And speaking of just getting here, it ain't where you're from, it's where you at. Look at this. State income taxes. Fernando Mendoza and all that $57 million, don't touch it, state. Only feds. Don't touch it, state. 0. Then you see you living in New York. Oh, sorry, David Bailey, 5.7. Jeremiah Love, 1.3. Carnell Tate, 0. Thank you, Titans. Tennessee, state of Tennessee. And then you got to say, oh, look at this. This ain't it, RV Reese. You going to take my money? I thought you just talking about charity. Why you going to take my money? Real spit. Crazy, right? Just a little fun facts, some little tidbits as we go through. We got a lot to cover today. We got a lot of good stuff. Let me get some love to the members out there. Shout out to all the members who are rocking with your boy. I see you guys. Shout out to Andrew Nance is in the building. Stomp is always in the building. We're going to get through this today. Oh, Stomp already got a super chat. Just a thumbs up. He said, what's crack-a-lackin' mackin'? Let's get into it. Who are our top fans right now? We got Just Jules. Oh, that's new. Adrian Robles, Universal Trappers, Andrew Nance, and Stomp in the building. Well, let's talk about the NFL. Let's talk about the NBA. Let's talk about what Pat Riley's talking about. A lot of y'all getting upset at the gambling that's all infused in sports. And look, y'all saying it's getting rigged. I hear y'all all the time. So let me get somebody with some wisdom about it from the inside. Pat Riley, talk to me, man.
Back in that day, I'll answer this question, which I know where you're going with it. But back in that day, people just went to bookies and made bets, and that was it. But I never got involved in any of that stuff. Are you basically talking about gambling and?
Yeah. Today, how would you? Because obviously the monetary factor is completely different, and like you said back then, it was almost.
Well, do y'all remember when Pat Riley used to have that slick back hair, stand on the sideline? And your dad wouldn't let your mom watch the game because he looked that good? It was crazy, man. I mean, this dude brought style to the sideline. Respect, salute.
It's probably the most stupid thing that a player could do. Absolutely, just stupid. I hate to use that word, but it's the worst thing that any NBA player, any professional player who's had a dream to make it, and especially somebody who's making a lot of money, already, is to get themselves caught up in anything like that. We've already seen, I think, some of the things that are coming down. And
I haven't heard Chauncey Billups's, obviously his verdict, but even what he is pleading. But Damien, what's his name? Damon? The other guy that's involved, I forget his name. He pleading guilty. Y'all know what that means. Uh-oh.
And I guarantee you they regret the hell out of what they did. And probably didn't even think they were, were doing anything wrong. That's why it's so important when it comes to, we give this speech every year about it, about not giving any tips, not talking about injuries and stuff like that. I mean, but it's, when you get in bed with them as a league, all the leagues are you get in bed with gambling sites and they advertise on your network. It seems like everything's okay, and it seems like to me that's a contradiction of what we're trying to do from a purity standpoint, at least from that standpoint. So,
man, listen to that. Being real. Like, just imagine you're like, all right, what's the worst thing that can happen to a league? If you think about it, it's not winning and losing. It's not even like the players getting in trouble, right? All that's not great, like getting in trouble and the players are just misfits and all that. But you can survive that if you got great product, great entertainment, like, right? We went through bad boys eras, and we went through eras where it seemed like everybody in the NFL was getting arrested for something this, or, there was some manslaughters. It was just some crazy stuff. You get through that because the games are captivating. Let's just call it like it is. But every league knows that its worst thing, what lets all the water out the bathtub, is if you lose the integrity of the game, right? Like what we believe holds that game together. Those fibers, that glue, that connectivity that makes them, us as fans, watch and say, oh, they going after it. They trying their hardest. This ain't WWE. This is not predetermined. So the only thing, the kryptonite to your integrity of your league is gambling. That's the only thing that can come in there and say, we got other incentives that's going to shape our behavior. And to think that we live in a world right now, and I'm old enough to know the world where you couldn't even have a team in Vegas. Now, every team, every league is racing to get a team in Vegas. Every commercial is like some kind of poly market or some kind of gambling association, some kind of DraftKings, and then it's a 1-800 number. Basically, they like, we gonna put the needle right next to you, but we're not gonna call you an addict, and we're not thinking you doing drugs. But everywhere you go, here's the needle. Ooh. That's what the leagues are doing. I'm not gonna lie, me personally, doesn't bother me. I don't have a gambling issue. I don't have a gambling itch. I don't have anything for gambling. I used to gamble, then I stopped because I was like, I lost too much money that fast. Lost $11,000 in Panama. Real story, 2003, judging the Miss Universe pageant in some basement casino that they made up. I was like, that's too much money for that moment. No, never again. So now I only bet like a quarter or $20 or something like that. Never again. No gambling problem. But that's what the leagues are doing. They're putting it right here. They put that cocaine right here. And they tell you to take a deep breath. But at the same time, careful. Get that cocaine out in there. Who would have imagined a world like this?
I think all those things have to be sort of addressed. But as we see all of this stuff play out, we'll find out, soon, what's going to come of it. But I think it's the worst thing that any player, coach, official, I don't care who it is, what are you thinking of? What are you thinking of?
Well, you're thinking of, let's not do that. This is why we do our show together. Because what you're thinking of is, look, why am I playing ball? Okay, ultimately, is to provide. Right? Provide for myself the fact that I have actually made a dream a reality. Provide for myself that I am exercising my skills and talent and labor so I could provide for myself and my family, get a check. So that's why the leagues are right there putting that needle right next to you and say, don't become an addict. They putting it right next to you because money. Them gambling places, them gambling sites, them poly markets are writing gigantic checks. So yeah, come on. You can say what you want. Incentives shape behavior. That's when you get off your high horse. So why would the players do it? It's simple. Doesn't mean it's right. And we all know taking the simple route usually is the wrong route. But go ahead. The easy route is usually the wrong route. But go ahead. A player sitting there like, look, how much I'm going to make this year? Okay, I'm going to make $2 million. Okay, great. After taxes and all that stuff, you're going to walk away with $1 million, right? Whatever. Still great money. However, somebody that you know that knows somebody knows that you can get half of that money right back. And you ain't got to do one thing. You get all that money back without getting one sack. Matter of fact, we're going to make it easy for you. Just tell me what's going on. When y'all close that door, what y'all talking about? Let's start there. No. I ain't asked you to go out there and run the wrong way and score a touchdown for them, get a safety. I ain't say do all that. I said, just tell me what y'all talk about when that door closed. Okay, when y'all get hurt, what's the protocol? Okay, now after that, do y'all really need to come back when y'all say you're coming back, or can you take a little longer? You know how it goes. They turn the temperature up. They turn the heat up on the pot just a little more. Boil that frog, because if you try to hit it real quick, the frog hopping out the water. But if you just say 1 more degree, 1 more degree, 1 more degree, next thing you know, that needle's in you ever so gently. That's how it goes. I've never been enticed because I don't even have that connection. But let's not act like why we don't know people are doing it, because they're getting easy money. It's the money.
I don't give my wife a tip. I wouldn't give her a tip. Who's playing tonight?
What you doing? Oh, a tip like that. I was like, what is he talking about?
I don't know who's playing tonight, honey. I don't know. The doorman says, well, I said, I don't know how he is. But I'm not trying to make light of it. It's pretty serious. And I just hope the players realize that that's not a road you want to go down.
But wait, it gets worse. It will get worse because the poly markets haven't even fully infiltrated yet. Like, they still facing some blockage. Still, some of the gambling places and sites in certain states facing some blockage. It's going to get, if you want to think this is bad, this is going to get worse. Okay? You may look at the NFL, NBA one day and scratch your head and say, seriously, dog, I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. I think it's rigged. Or you may sit there and say, this is WWE playing out. It could get there in your mind and your perception because we know what's happening. The money. You don't believe me? Look at the money. Even at the collegiate level, they are professionalizing sports at a younger and younger level. And I am a full supporter of that. If your kid signs up at 4 years old at the local park and rec, I am not against an NIL representative looking at your son said, he's 4 and he's already 4 feet tall? Oh, man, we got to talk. Take my number down. I'm about to wire you some money because I need this kid to know me from hello. And you know where I am? I'm at Duke University. And I need this kid to understand I represent a lot of colleges, but this is a Dookie. Actually, ma'am, I'm sorry. You got to take him to the bathroom. I smell a Dookie, too. Come on. Anyway, so little man, little itty bitty right here, 4 feet at 4 years old. We need that. I do not mind you walking up to that mama so she ain't got to sell candy, so she ain't got to go and sell cookies, that she going to get a check for her 4-year-old just being tall. I like that because the money is already there. It's just circulating around you. It needs to circulate through you. Professionalize youth sports. I love that. That means parents got a parent. Oh, you rather give them registration money than them giving you money saying, just make sure he show up on time. That's all we need. And leave his pacifier in the car. You know what I mean? So I don't mind that. Don't get it twisted. But it comes at a cost, right? Parents got a parent. And the NIL era is flipping the NBA draft on its head right now. So since you professionalize it at a younger level, we're going to take our time to get to the top level, right? This elevator ain't going to go lobby, penthouse. It used to be that way. Everybody's just an amateur, and then boom, you go pro and you get paid. Nah. Now we got a second floor, a third floor, fourth floor. Let's go to the fifth floor and hang out for a minute. Isn't that where they have the continental breakfast? No. I think that's where they have the pool table. Let's just go. Oh, I heard they have an indoor pool right there. Like these guys are now going from high school, and I told you I know a kid that got millions in high school. I ain't gonna say his name because everybody ain't getting that. College, NIL era flipping on its head. Only 71 players entered the 2026 NBA draft, down from 106 last year and a peak of 363. So when NIL was first starting or not even like hitting, 363 dudes said, I got to get to that money. Penthouse. And some of them got stuck on the elevator. Some of them didn't get off and live luxuriously in the penthouse. Now, they getting on the elevator and they're like, hey, dog, hit the button. I ain't hitting no button. I'm just chilling. I'm good where I'm at. I'll be where I'm at. 71 players, that's it. That's the lowest early entrant total since 2003 because they are eating on campus. Walking by Taco Bell and one of these players, this dude right here, what's his name? Jada Asanya, what's his name? Dude, didn't he get $12 million to go to BYU? College basketball stars are staying in school overwhelmingly. The Boozer twins, cats are like, I heard their NIL deal could be up to $30 million. Bronny James was getting paid there. Now Bryce James is getting paid more than Bronny. He ain't even played yet. These cats are getting on the elevator like, hey, hit one. Nah, never mind. You know what? Forget this. I'm out. Where you going, dog? You about to go pro? No, I'm going to take the stairs. It takes longer. They are taking the stairs to the NBA, to the NFL. I love it, too. I love it. Cats going to be super seniors. We were clowning that. I grew up in the era where Higher Learning, the movie, they clowned Ice Cube for being in school that long. Damn, you're a super senior. Now, dog, they walking by Taco Bell and you over there like, oh, let me get me a gordita. Hey, let me get them Gordos Locos. Ooh, them red ones and the blue ones. Bang. Oh, let me get a 6-pack. Yeah. Now I'll get the 10-pack, Papa. Then this dude walk in with his NIL. He like, yeah, can I see the lease? Can I see the deed? I like this location. I'm thinking about franchising some of these. That's what's happening in college sports right now. Real spit. Keep going. We're going around the world. And make sure you guys like and subscribe to this channel. Become a member. Best show I've ever seen. This is the best show ever. We're going to talk about ESPN and why they ignored the Vrabel Russini story for real. And there's some receipts that they knew back in 2020. Ooh, we got to get into that, right? And then Stephen A. gets called out for fame chasing by Steve Stout. That's gangster, but he has a great breakdown about talent versus fame. So let's give him some respect. Why do grown men love WrestleMania? Y'all got to go through that with Rob Parker and Mark Henry. Michael Irvin goes at ESPN for their draft coverage and calling out a man's lowlight in his great moment. Top 10 offensive linemen, and then we're going to have a Q&A session. You ask the questions in the chat, beat it up in the comments, and I answer them. We're going to have a rapid fire. Let's have some fun. Let's go. Jason Kidd, the only Mavericks to ever win Rookie of the Year award. Jay Kidd, he tied with Grant Hill, Luka, and Cooper Flagg. Kidd is Flagg's current coach, and he coached Luka to the finals. So look at that connection right there. Look at that. It's all over the place. It ain't together, but hey, point being, Dallas, y'all doing it big. And speaking of that campus walk and that Taco Bell and NIL, look at this. Cooper Flagg is the 5th Dookie to be named NBA Rookie of the Year. Pablo, Kyrie, Elton Brand. Y'all forgot about Elton Brand. Shout out to the homie. Grant Hill, respect. Duke now is tied with UNC, I think, with 5. Beat up in the comments. So if you want your kid to go somewhere and make it, but when he makes it, he ain't just gonna be like, I arrived. He gonna be like, oh, the journey begins. He gonna ball out from hello. Duke ain't a bad spot. Let's just say that. Let's look at the results right here. Cooper Flagg got all the first place votes of 56, and then Con Nipple, he got 44 of them. So that's almost a good split. He was coming. He was close. Second place votes, and then a total of 412. So it's a little close there. And then, sorry, VJ, you just picked the wrong year. I swear you could have won in many years, but not this year. Both of them, him and Con. But nope, then Dylan Harper and Cedric Coward rounds out the top 5. Respect, guys, right? And keep balling. Just keep balling, because it ain't over. It ain't over. It just began. But speaking of beginning, let's talk about the ending of the Golden State era, because that ain't beginning no more.
For a 4-time head coach.
I've been there with that hug. I saw the hug, and it made me think of me, P, and Doc, and I knew when the writing is over. It's like an unspoken thing that we all share.
Yeah, y'all saw that hug? Y'all saw them comments? Y'all remember when Steve Kerr huddled up with Draymond and Steph? He said, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I just want to let you guys know I love you. We saw that. That usually means they about to take me to the firing range, or I'm about to fire myself.
But none of us got to say. And we all feel it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then, yeah.
Is it official that Steve Kerr is stepping down?
No, it's not official. It's being speculated.
Yeah.
Draymond spoke.
What the hell, Paul? Paul, you can tell, boy, when you divorced, you got all that money still, and you for the streets. Look at these shoes. What? He got to stand up. I got to see them. God, he already 6'7". What you doing with 6'7"? What are you doing with them shoes? I swear, like, y'all remember that game, Chutes and Ladders? Like, this is the biggest shoe I ever seen. Like Kanye West is like, yo, those some big ass shoes.
On his show and said, I don't think he's coming back.
So we're seeing the end of an era. We're seeing, like, when we all loved the Phil Jackson and Jordan and Rodman and Pippen and Steve Kerr, and then we loved the Birds and McHale's and Parishes, and then, you know, we start to, you know, the Cobes and the D-Ways. You know, your favorites, man, the Dirks. You know, you start to see your favorite teams.
I do this too, but I don't know why anyone does it. Why do we pluralize legends? The Kobe's, the Dirks. There is no other Dirk. There is no other Kobe. What are we doing?
It's not like this, though. You know, Golden State really implemented themselves into this new era around about 11, 12, or 12, 13, and really start to take over a style of basketball. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just, before it was like a running gun, Nelly had Nelly ball, but then I felt like when Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr got there, they really devised the D'Antoni system, which is a lot of threes and a lot of pace.
Yeah.
Because when you win it.
Paul, like, my shoes too fresh. They speak for me. You know how many ants and roaches you could kill with them shoes on one stomp?
There's always a pace. But they took it and just put it into a style like the Bulls. You knew that they was going to pick you up defensively. Jordan was going to do this. Scottie was they made a whole style of an era that everybody followed. You know, James Harden gave us the new moves, right? The triple step backs, the shit that we was like, what the fuck? But Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors made us fall in love with the 3-ball.
They did. Don't lie. Like, I never thought I would ever be a person that loves seeing 3-pointers. In the 80s, when Larry Bird was only shooting 3 of them, I was like, oh, that's dope. It was a good counter, but I wanted to see dunks. In the 90s, I forgot about threes. I was like, well, I don't give a damn. I cared about handles. Like, I love scoring and handles. And then all of a sudden, Steph Curry comes, and it started in college. Because you remember when they were, like, making a run in the tourney? And you're like, that little dude without a chest? Like, he ain't got no chest hair. He like a little man, little baby out there. He is shooting as soon as he sees the court. Did he make that from the locker room? And I'm not lying. That's why I fell in love with it. Steph Curry and Caitlin Clark, because of the depth of their threes, really made me say, I didn't like the WNBA before Caitlin Clark. No. I was like, what? This ain't nothing. No, thank you. And then she starts shooting it, and it's such a facsimile of what the men do, the highest level. So I'm like, I love that. Any sport that's a women's sport, if it's as good, if they're as good as the men are in that sport, or that gap is not wide, you love it. That's why I think flag football is going to be big for women. Huge for women. Because if you watch flag football right now, and I do, there are women who get it. And I'm not lying, y'all. Y'all don't believe me. All right, Josh Norman was trying to guard one of them, and she gave him some work. Now, he's still Josh Norman, and he retired, but still, he got some work. I saw it about a month ago. There are women out there that you got to squint and be like, what? She just hit that out route like none other. So I think flag football is next. But it makes you fall in love with it because you see it at the highest form. And then it's another level, another version. Steph Curry, Caitlin Clark shooting from the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. Klay Thompson, man, when Klay Thompson had 30 and all that shit in the quarter, bro, nobody blinked when he was doing that. We didn't know what we were seeing. That's probably going to go down to some of the best shooting on one team.
Yeah.
That was, man, I saw that, man. I didn't tear up, but I had to stand up and clap, man, because I was looking at the end of an era. My homeboy, shout to FA, he loves Golden State. I would love to get his view on that shit because, yeah, this is the end. This is going to look totally different, I think, next year.
Yeah, for sure.
It got to. It has to look different because they're not going nowhere to making it look the same. Just be real. Out of respect, you want to keep it going. You want to give it that Kobe deal. You want to give it 2 years, $50 million that Kobe got at the end when we knew it was the end. But he still got that because he's Kobe. And you want to give Steph that because Steph's still balling, though. Let's be real. Little injuries this year, but who cares? Everybody gets hurt. But Steph still balling. Draymond, you can't hold on to Draymond and Steph and then be like, who else? You got to use Draymond for what Draymond is, which is he can command some draft picks. He can command some attention, whatever it may be. But you just can't run it back the same. Just being real. You just can't. So that's where we are. Simple as that. Oh, man. He brought up James Harden. Let's give some love to James Harden. Shout out to James Harden. I love that. We'll do James Harden tomorrow. Love to you guys. We're going to do James Harden tomorrow because it's a fascinating topic about how analytics ruined the game, and James Harden had to suffer for it. All right, so make sure you like this video, subscribe, become a member. We're going to get into that ESPN topic. Don't forget, Vrabel and Russini. There's receipts that ESPN knew in 2020, which connects to why ESPN is trying to act like this story doesn't exist, even though it's the biggest story in the last 3 weeks of sports. But the biggest network in the world, the worldwide leader of sports, doesn't want to cover it like that. So we're going to talk about that. Stephen A. gets called out for fame chasing by Steve Stout. Interesting. Michael Irvin is going to talk about ESPN and their draft coverage and why they do Reuben Bain Jr. like that. Top 10 offensive linemen in history. That list is circulating. I got some issues with that. And then we're going to have a Q&A session, you and I. Y'all going to beat it up in the comments. I'm going to be here to answer it. Let's get into it. All right, what's going on with my favorite player outside of Kevin Durant? And once Kevin Durant retires, he is going to be my favorite player. Cade Cunningham. What's going on? 24 turnovers in the last 3 games. Most turnovers in the 3-game span in the playoffs since turnovers were officially tracked. What? This is the worst 3-game stretch of turnovers in NBA history? You all right, Cade? I mean, I don't think it's a rush back from a lung issue, but what the hell? Right? What is that? That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
We didn't bring him in.
Listen to this. This makes no sense either, but it's real. Y'all believe in Justin Fields?
We didn't bring him in to be a gadget guy, although he can do every gadget there is, but we didn't bring him in to do that. We brought him in to he's a legitimate quarterback, a starting quarterback in the National Football League, and we're lucky enough to have him here. So, and if that's the role that he plays early in the season, that's what we have full confidence that he can do a great job with that.
Okay, you know what he's doing. Real or not, sincere or not, and I think he is being sincere, he building them up. Think about it. You Justin Fields, all that talent, and, you bounced a little bit. Okay, Chicago, Jets, you're all this talent. Then you get to be around Yoda. Like, you've been going through the universe searching for your master, and now you find Yoda, Andy Reid. Andy Reid. Do y'all remember Andy Reid? I mean, I remember playing against Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb, and we were like, we can't unlock this. McNabb, Westbrook, T.O. Oh, what the hell is this? We're looking around like, what is this? I'm looking around like, what is that? Even before that, forget it. I played against when it was like, what was it, Pinkett out there? Like, the receivers, respect, they weren't like the biggest names, didn't matter. McNabb will go back there, look, I can run too. Don't let none of this chunkiness, this me and McNabb got jokes. We always clown each other. I mean, he had a beer, he was shaped like a beer mug. Like, he just didn't look like it. Try and chase him. You ain't catching McNabb. Then he had that dart, he had that arm. Then he always had some receiver that just stayed open, and you were like, how'd he get open? He's not that fast. He's like, yeah, I am. Then, if all of that break down, Andy Reid always had Westbrook just sitting there like this. I'm over here, 3 yards, flanked. Throw me the ball. So he's stretching you. He got somebody way up there. He got a quarterback that can do it all, arm and feet. Then he got a leak. He got an outlet, always an insurance policy. You sitting there like, oh. That's why they went to 5 straight NFC championship games or something crazy. Or went to 5 of them. I don't think it was straight. It couldn't have been straight. Was it straight? Insane. They didn't get it. They didn't win it. That year T.O. got hurt. That was the closest they got. But they were insane. That is one of the best eras, best teams that will go down forgotten. The Eagles in the 2000s, stop playing with me, y'all. They were legit, y'all. Legit. Well, speaking of legit, tell me how legit wrestling is, grown men.
I just cannot get over how older guys who are sports fans, who watch the NFL, who watch Major League Baseball, but they have this soft spot for wrestling. I need somebody to explain it to me because I don't understand it.
You said why? Somebody tell me. Well, I'm somebody. Are you a fan of like the Marvel universe or DC or any brand franchise of entertainment?
Yeah, before puberty, absolutely I was.
He said before puberty.
That kind of would have been my response too. But I'm not going to lie, and this is my bias, so I don't want to clown anybody, but these jokes are coming. I don't have a sci-fi part of my brain. I don't have a Dungeons and Dragons. I don't have a Lord of the Rings. I don't have any of that. I've not seen one of those movies. I've not read one page of any of them books. Right? As soon as I start hearing about sorcerers and like little leprechauns, I'm like, man, if you don't get out of my face. I like documentaries. I like drama. I like nonfiction. Even in school, teachers be like, read this book. I was like, is it real? She was like, what do you mean, Marcellus? And it helps with your imagination and it's great. I'm like, I don't want to hear about dwarfs and I don't care. This world, like, I'm not imagining nothing. There is so much information where I am. Why I got to go some fantasy world, right? So it's tough for me to really wrap my head around wrestling when I know it ain't real. Like when I grew up, Iron Sheik, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, right? Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, yo brother, Randy Macho Man said, oh yeah, brother. Like all that. And then I woke up one day and heard it wasn't real. Then I was like, oh, salute. But I can't buy into it anymore. That's where I'm at.
Okay, so you're a complete grown-up. I know Superman is not real, but I still love Superman.
My biggest issue is blurring the lines and trying to make it like there's some real competition and we don't know what's going to happen at the end. You might not know, but somebody has already predetermined what is going to work for their script. And that's where I have the pushback as far as it being like on SportsCenter and they're talking about it like the NFL, like Major League Baseball, like the NBA. I understand that people know it's scripted and they just love the entertainment of it. It's not a competition. It's not.
Man, they said two things that I do respect. One, hey, I know Superman ain't real and I love him. Dog, you can't tell me that Flash and an Incredible Hulk doesn't exist. Like, even though I know they're not real. David Banner is not walking down the street, ripping his pants, turning green, and about to just save somebody. It ain't happening. But I think it is. Like, I am locked in on Incredible Hulk. And Flash, my favorite. Stop. I wish I was Flash right now. I'll come back right. So maybe it's that itch that they have for wrestling. But I also like the fact that Rob is like, okay, why is it right next to, once again, why is the needle next to you saying don't be an addict? Why are we watching something that is about sports, competition? SportsCenter is supposed to be, but I think that's a loose interpretation now, especially when they don't cover Russini, Vrabel, but then they cover wrestling. It's like, all right, so we're not doing sports. We're not doing sports-centric things anymore. I get it. But he's like, why is it on the show where I'm about to watch the NFL Week 3 coverage? I'm about to watch the NCAA tournament, real competitions, and then somebody jumping off the top rope that is already scripted. Great points.
Because competition means we don't know who's going to win. That's why sports is so popular. Once you know who's going to win the game, the appeal of it in sports isn't the same.
I need all y'all right now to beat it up in the comments. Your favorite superhero, one. I'm stuck between Incredible Hulk and Flash, but if all things, I had to be the Incredible Hulk. I've watched more of him than I have Flash. So I would say Incredible Hulk. Who's your favorite superhero? Beat it up in the comments.
The people that lied to you and told you that pro wrestling was a sporting event and they offended you and they hurt your feelings. Like, I feel bad for you. I went through this. Santa Claus is not real too.
Put it in. All right, you want spoilers? That's right. And you know what? They should be able to enjoy Santa Claus and Christmas when they're kids. And when they get older, they figure it out, and it's okay. You don't have to tell them. They figure it out at some point.
Do you still buy Christmas presents?
And they move on.
Oh.
Of course.
Okay, then you're a part of the problem, Rob. Thank you for coming on this early out there for you.
That is great. Great point. Great point. Does he got more?
We will continue to listen to the Odd Couple. What a great.
Oh, man. Great point. He has some great counters because obviously he's part of the game. He knows that world. Hey, it ain't real, but and that's something I get caught up in being a crusader of truth and reality and real. And it happened to me yesterday. Oh, this is crazy. The universe, don't tell me that we don't live forever. We just change forms. I believe in that, angels and all that stuff. So yesterday, my son, literally in the morning, was like, he was just a little low energy, just a little low. And I was looking at him, and right now he's 10, but he's going through pre-puberty. So a little hair here and there. You know, the emotions are getting a little different. You know, he's getting a little quieter. He's in his own head, a little more self-conscious. And it's now time for me to be more sensitive, softer with him, because the world's going to feel harder even if it's not. The scale may say it's the same, but it's going to feel heavier, right? I remember that time, like 4th grade to like 11th grade, until you start feeling like you're a man again. I don't know. For me, it was 4th through 11th was, whoa, it's weird. Like, do I really care about girls? I don't. Do I really care about my homies? I don't. I do. I don't know. Should I really go there? And I know I shouldn't. And then some impulse just makes me do it. That was some weird times until I start feeling like I know what I really want to do, or more of it. My son's in the back. I don't look at my skin. You know, I got good skin. Like, you know, black don't crack, but it swells. So, you know, my black don't crack. I look good. I know it. Good skin. I never had acne. My sister had it really bad. I felt for her growing up. But I will get the occasional bump right here growing up. I did puberty right here on the side, right? 2 little nozzles will come, pow, and a good one too. You could pop it the same day and it'll probably go away, no scar. My son is in that phase where he get a little one here, a little one there, and I could just tell. And he was like, Daddy, I'm about to cry. He said, Daddy, he said, does my bump look better today? Because the day before it was like flaky and stuff. You could tell he was putting medicine on it, but he was like, does my bump look better today? And I looked and I turned, and me turning, I answered it for real. I was like, not really, but I was like, oh yeah, you don't have the flaking, but the bump was still there, the same size. So my point was, let me just be honest. Let me be real. And then I caught myself. I was like, he needs a version of reality. He doesn't need, I said, oh, you're feeling self-conscious. You thinking that everybody's going to be talking to you looking at your bump. I'm going to tell you, some are not. But that's the whole point of self-conscious. It makes you go absolute. Everyone is. And I said, you're going to start going through that phase where you're going to be thinking people are thinking things. I was like, try not to think about thoughts. That's something me and my best friend came up with. Don't think about thoughts. How many times have you sat there thinking about thoughts? Soon as your alarm goes off, you sit in the bed for an extra 5-10 minutes. It's okay to pray. It's okay to meditate, of course. But sometimes you're not doing neither. You're just thinking about thoughts. Man, if I do that, no, I shouldn't do that. I should go there. You ain't did nothing. And I'm sitting there about to cry, looking at my son like, he need a different version of reality. I bring all that because that's what wrestling made me feel like. It's just a different version of reality. Because it does hurt. You know Nick Khan, that's my former agent. That's my guy. I love him. And he runs all of that. But even before him, like, it's a different version of reality. It still hurts to jump off the top ring. I Speed, whatever his name is, I Am Speed, when he jumped from the top of WrestleMania, that still hurts. I know those guys. They get beat up and broke down. So if it's so fake, why am I hurting? It's real pain, brother. Real pain. So all that stuff and more, man. Beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about it. On this show, we can make a wrestling topic a real life topic. Man, I love y'all too much. Let's go into it for real. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a member. Let's get into all of that. We still got to talk about ESPN ignoring Vrabel and Russini. We're going to get into Michael Irvin blasting ESPN for, let's just say, making Ruben Bain look bad in his best moment. That ain't it. That is not it. We got to do that. And top 10 offensive linemen coming up in our Q&A session. We got to get into it. Let me get some fans some love. What do y'all pick for y'all favorite underdog? Is that a real character? Underdog, I never heard of that other than the gambling site. Wonder Man. Man, y'all is clowning. I can't ask y'all anything. This Q&A session at the end of the show going to be a mess if y'all ain't got no damn. Y'all's sense of humor is just like mine. Spider-Man, there we go. Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom? What? Is he a character or is he just like head of the agency? Batman. All right. Y'all ain't really trying to go there with me. Nobody said what I wanted to hear. Love to you guys. Let's beat it up in the comments. Who's our top fans right now? Darian the Jedi Knight. Yes. DCD Bums. Okay. That's a new top fan. Good stuff. Dan Fan, Andrew Nance, and Stomp. Make sure y'all hit that like button and tell y'all friends to watch this show. Say, Wiley crazy, dog. It's fun over there. We do it for real. Let's go. Stephen A. He fame chasing?
It's shifted is fame has got in the way of talent. Fame and talent had a great relationship. Fame is the amplifier of talent. Fame has decided it doesn't need talent anymore. Yeah. Fame has actually outpaced talent, and the worst part of that is that talent has accepted that truth.
Blah, blah. Jewels have been dropped. Ding, 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 ding. And we all felt it. We all felt it, saw it, witnessed it, fought it, and then accepted it. As attention is the new currency, you start seeing viral videos and virality, and you're like, oh, I've been posting really good talent-based content. I'm a writer, and I'm posting things that I write. I'm an orator, and I'm posting speeches that I've given. Like everything, and you're well accomplished, great accolade, great acumen, all this stuff. You're checking every box. And then some kid just is like, oh my God, I could bottle flip. Oh my God, 500 million views. And you're like, I haven't gotten 500 million views ever in total lifetime. And this kid got it off one video. And you're like, wow, talent versus fame. We saw it coming, right? I saw it coming in that form. I saw it coming in the hot take form. I think he's going to get into that with Stephen A. That's why his face is up there. But I saw it also even in my neighborhood, because peep game, once you get drafted, you moving into neighborhoods that are well-established, high net worth, et cetera, right? You're living in a good neighborhood. And you look at your neighbors, and they're all older, typically. And they have normal jobs, but they're like really good at their normal job. Or they're C-level executives, et cetera, right? Or if you're really doing it, you live where the CEO lives, or, you know, the chairman and all that. But you're living around people who doing it. And then they looking at you like, how old are you? 22, 23? Oh, well, I'm 57. And I've been living here for 15 years. Took me a long time to get here. And you just got here like that. Chris Rock had that joke about that, right? Like, especially like athletes or entertainers. Like, that's what black people got to do to move into those nice neighborhoods, he said. And then they sitting there like, I'm a dentist. I've been a dentist for 20 years. But the point is, you saw that happen. Watch this. More than that, now I live in a neighborhood and I look around, I'm like, who got the big house on the hill? Oh, that's that YouTuber. What? It's serious. It's crazy. Attention, virality, fame took over that talent, bro.
So people who are talented will actually do something that will get them famous versus leaning into that talent. And that goes back to this first thing about brand stuff, about like being your brand. Like if you decide, man, I'm gonna have a hot take that's ridiculous as shit, just because I know it's gonna get clicks. What are you doing to your brand? What do you think that does to you?
Man, that just made me think of Emmanuel Acho, because it came out of his mouth. There's been a time where Emmanuel Acho has literally said, I'm gonna say what I need to say so it could pop. And now, no matter what he says, you're looking at it from that lens, that perspective of like, do you really believe that, or are you just saying it to pop? And it looks like, watching his show, there's always going to be a dedicated section or dedicated part where he's going to try and pop. Whether he believes it or not, now we have left that place. We're just watching to see the hot sauce, the virality, the fame attempt, right? And I'm being real, this is not even a slight. It's just calculated. He's breaking down the formula, the equation, the variables for that calculation. Gangster, real gangster.
You could be one of the great athletes, but because you want to get your podcast going, you're willing to say the dumbest shit because you know that's going to get clicks. What the f you think that says about you? Fame is a dangerous drug.
And we created the ultimate playground for that drug. There was the reality boom like 25 years ago, and reality TV was like the first kind of reflection of people that were getting famous and called talentless at the same time.
Yeah, dog, I can't lie, and I helped support this blindly, didn't know. I was watching The Real Housewives of Orange County, and I think that's the first one they had. And I loved it. I was like, ooh, this Joe character, this girl, little cutie, she's so sweet and going through life. I thought it was nothing. Then the Kardashians and all that, like Kardashians used to be the homegirls down the street, like in LA. I see them at parties all the time. They weren't the Kardashians. They were Dee, the producer's ex-wife. If y'all know the history, y'all know the history. Like they were just like normal party people. Some of them lived in the house. We used to go to the apartment. It was like 6 of them. Lauren London, all them. I'm not even gonna go too far, but it was that. Normal people, LA life, right? And now you're like, oops. You're like, you put money in that piggy bank. Now you're like, oops, can I get a withdrawal? They're like, nah, too late. Can't crack the piggy bank.
Then social media created this entire like vessel for that to happen for anybody and everybody. So now you can chase fame, and the tactics that are needed to become famous are just no longer the tactics that was the only thing that resulted in fame, which was talent.
Yeah.
So when you say talent's accepted, is it that they'll either compromise their brand or just accept that what their talent is?
Both. Listen.
Man, before we listen, and this is a deep issue with me and frustration, but at the same time, ain't nobody trying to hear you cry about it, Wiley. It's like, damn. Like, to get into broadcasting the way I wanted to get into it was because I knew there were way more people who didn't play at the highest level that wanted to know what it felt like. Simple as that. Like, my Columbia experience told me 99.9% of the people I know are not going to know what I'm experiencing. And it's amazing. Like, to play football at the highest level is amazing. It's insane. You walk out of a tunnel and it's dark in there and all you hear is cleats and you just see your boy and his fingers are fat and he's sweating and he's mad, and at the same time he gigantic. But guess what? He ain't the only one. Everybody ready for it. Everybody about to go to battle. That big old dude you just walk by with a different color on, you got to run through him in about 8 minutes. You ready. You in a zone. You want to talk about it. Then you walk out that dark tunnel and go, and then that light start coming like you about to go to the afterlife, and then you look up and it's 80,000 people and they go, and then you just sit there and you do like this with your hands one time, they go, you're like, what? Then you go out there, turn that corner, knock that quarterback down, start dancing, they go, That's just one play. You get years of that? Oh my God. All I wanted to do is tell people about that. I'm still doing it. But the thing is, what they're talking about is like, yeah, that's great, but let me just hype this up. Let me just make something up. Let me WWE it. And they're winning. And that to me is like, damn. I bet like real wrestling, like what is it, Gecko Wrestling or whatever, like real wrestlers that go to Penn State are sitting there watching WWE. It's like, what happened to us? That's kind of how I feel sometimes.
I have a great deal of respect for Stephen A. Smith. I think Stephen A. Smith has done so much shit that is about fame than the fact that he's actually a great journalist. He's clearly cashing out. But his journalism, the thing that he's great at, I believe, is homogenized by the shit that he's doing for fame. That's
Damn. And Stephen A., look, if we had to say what's the grandest hybrid of it all, like talent and fame, because I hate when people try to rob Stephen A. of his talent. No. You can't do that. This dude turns on when the light turns on. It's rap. Move, get out the way, Ludacris style. But we also know that now he's leaned into more of, hey, I know that that's substantive. I know that that means something. And y'all know my history. Y'all know, hey, I've been a journalist for, like we can go there. But where we are right now, we going here. And it works. So who are we to really be like, it's almost like we're stuck in our ways. No, we want you to be more meat and potatoes. He's like, nah, just sauce and condiments. Just sauce and condiments. Respect to you, Kitten Pal. Love you, big dog. Once again, he gave a 5-pack out there, 5-pack of memberships. I'll give y'all some read and some love after this segment. Let's go.
That's one example of many examples.
No, but it's a real one because it also has a real impact on what your legacy may be, which if you stop and think about it, may be the one thing that could keep somebody from chasing that, which is that his legacy may be just as clouded with some of this.
I just know that I've seen that transition from like journalists to like, yo, whatever's going to get the clicks.
Shock jock, whatever you want to call it, all that. We've seen it. But the thing about it, I don't think this affects Stephen A's legacy. Like, Stephen A. gonna go down Mount Rushmore no matter what. So stop it. Anybody, stop it. I understand you're like, I wish I had more of this and more of that. There's no perfect player. There's no perfect journalist. There's no perfect announcer. None of us. Nobody. So we get it. What is damning is it's always the gremlins, right? Gizmo was fine. Gizmo was fine. Couple rules, leave Gizmo alone. You don't follow the rules, all of a sudden Gizmo turns into Stripe. And then Stripe got all the gremlins. And now we got problems, right? The problem ain't Stephen A. Smith. It's the license it gave to everybody who wanted to be a gremlin. It's a billion wannabe Stephen A. Smiths. And that sucks. Because one, we only need one Stephen A. Smith, but two, y'all not even as good, and y'all doing it for fame first. We can hear it. We can see it. And that's what makes everybody throw up in their mouth.
I have a great deal of respect for him, period. But this is what's happening. This is the new game.
And that, I believe that may be what legacy is turning into. It's the story that's told about you. You couldn't get somebody to talk about him right now today without talking about all the other stuff. And that does sustain. It happens to actors and musicians that are some of the greatest in the history of their field. But when you tell their story, gets coupled with all of the other shit that goes on in their life. I mean,
Yeah.
the idea that
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I mean, as we were talking about yesterday, Michael Jackson, the movie. I mean, like, think about it. Michael Jackson, Jackson 5, A, B, C. Like, come on. Easy as one. Like, there's nothing bad you can say about that. He's 7 years old and 10 years old, and he's doing that. Perfect. Then he stops doing that, or in conjunction of doing that, in connection of doing with that. Let me just make Off the Wall, which may be his best album. And we can go Thriller to Off the Wall, and you're like, good luck. Okay. You're off to a fast start, Mr. Jackson. You got Jackson 5 and you got Off the Wall. I don't know if you can have a better start rookie year, second year. Oh, Hold My Beer. Let me do Thriller. The most selling album ever. Like 90 Chronics. Like 90 Snoop Doggy Styles. Like 50 Hammers. Like, I'm exaggerating, but Thriller's insane. You got anything else? Yeah, I do. Bad. What? There's still hits. But talk about Michael Jackson. Be real. You talk about Michael Jackson, you start talking about, you start getting conversations off the music. A lot of greats. You start getting off their greatness. I think while we're mad, everyone's mad at how fame is outpacing talent in this lane, sports media lane, because we need information. We want information. And we went to ESPN, we went to sources to trust them with the information. I'm not watching every game. I'm not watching every player. But I need you to kind of summarize that. And in your summary, I need it to be objective as possible, but at the same time, entertain me. Not entertain me and then hopefully be objective. But we know that changed. Whether it was Jim Rome, he's the first one of notoriety. Jim Rome, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith. It's that continuum of like, and then what's helping them is social media. What helped them is the incentives. They were like, y'all popping. Calling somebody out their name was unheard of in the 1980s. On a daily basis. West Brick and all that crazy stuff. What? You imagine imagine Dr. J, when Magic and Bird took over, they were calling him Nurse J. That's pretty good too. Imagine they were saying Nurse J. Look at Nurse J out there. Done lost his throne to Magic and Bird. It's different. Just the way it is. Beat up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about that. I thought it was fascinating. It seemed like an older topic, but it's an everlasting topic as well. And thank you once again, Kit and Powell, for the 5-pack of memberships. Ooh, I love it. Sonic Wave jumped on it. PCC 1901 jumped on it. Von Allen, Al Scott, and Chris Small. Boy, when somebody throw a 5-pack in that damn chat, you talking about gremlins. You talking about jumping on something. Y'all really jump on it real fast. Ooh, pause. Stop it. Yuck. Make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a member. And we still got some great topics to talk about. Obviously, we still got to talk about ESPN and the Dianna Russini. That's coming up next. We got Michael Irvin talking about ESPN and their coverage of Ruben Bain Jr. When he got drafted, they kind of put the lowlights up there. But they can't do the Vrabel story, but they could find some Ruben Bain accident stuff, etc., whatever. I get it. And top 10 offensive linemen, and we're going to have our Q&A at the end of the show. We're just going to talk. I'm just going to be reading the chat and clowning. That's what we're going to do, answering your questions seriously. All right, let's get into this because I can't believe this happened. But this is real. This is real. This is real. So, Dianna Russini. Dianna. Look. If Dianna, you're watching this at home, cuddled up, mad, whatever's happening, look, I only say Dirty Dianna because Michael Jackson, you just happen to go viral when Michael Jackson movie come out. So that's the only reason I'm saying it. I'm lying. Dianna Russini made a Spotify playlist called Turning the Page that she shared with a user named Mike on December 19th, 2022. And let's just say this Mike ain't her son. Oh, his name is Mike? Oh, man. Which just so happens to coincide with a 4-game Titans losing streak. She's sending her boo some soup. Oh, my God. Woo. I mean, her husband, he's a strong man. Look, I've been embarrassed before, too. And worse than being embarrassed, I've also been privately shamed, and I've been stuck. Like, I wish people knew what I was dealing with. Sometimes the world knows. Sometimes the world doesn't know what you are harboring. They don't know what you're carrying. I don't know which one's worse. To tell you the truth, if everyone looks at you like you should be okay and you're like, yo, you don't even know what the fuck I'm dealing with. Which one's worse? That one? I've been there. Oh, man, people don't know the weight I'm carrying. Versus the one where everybody sees something, they're like, oh, Wiley, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, but at least I'm hearing y'all say you okay. Most people are going to be empathetic to you. Look at this. So this is the playlist, Dianna, Russini, and Mike. 1 save, 18 songs. Wow. Okay, let's go. I ain't mad. Look, I'm almost at the point where, look, I'm past the affair part and all that. Who cares? I'm just like, yo, I think we actually are in a way of them really having a real relationship. Like, I mean, you know, it's one thing to get a little, get a little worm on the side, but it's another thing to, yo, I'm in love. Like, what y'all doing? I had a boy get divorced. His wife cheated on him. You think that's bad? How about this? She cheated on him, made up some stories. You know, they always got to get their leverage back because she cheated, got caught. So then she starts saying he was doing stuff which he really wasn't, just to have like, I had to call the police. And I was like, damn. Police came and said, well, ma'am, once you call, somebody got to go. Later on, she admits, like, I had to get my leverage up. Worse than that, they get divorced. Worse than that, guess who she remarried? Guess who she marries? The dude she cheated with. She didn't even want to salvage the family or none of that. No, I'm good. I'm riding with him. That's deep. That's a real story. I know it. Look at these songs. I don't know half these songs. Cuff It. Big Energy. I'm not reading her playlist. Like if she saw mine, she'd be like, who is Dog Pound? I'm like, yeah. Whatever. Okay, let's keep going. What's on this? Oh, that's the losing streak. She sent it. All right. But that ain't even the meat of the topic. This is the meat of the topic. This is real. So this guy, if you don't know him, Tony Farmer, let's give him some credit. He's been doing his work on this topic. And now he's starting to get some notoriety. I've seen him pop a few places. Even Whitlock talked through it. 49ers Talk, creator, host, last man standing, all this. Hey, respect to him because he's putting together some stuff. So let's get some Dirty Dianna and Mike Vrabel talk in. There you go.
I think I may have figured out why ESPN has been acting so strange the last couple weeks. I was originally going to make this article about how Pete Schrager retracted his story about how Mike Vrabel was in contact with the Patriots throughout day 3 of the NFL draft when he was supposed to be at counseling out of town with his family. That's a big deal.
Yo. I mean, you going to counseling, but you like, hey, yo, counselor, like, where your couch? All right, I'm going to be here chilling. But whenever this thing go off, and I ain't even going to put it on vibrate. Nope, this thing going to go ring, ring. Chill. Don't bill me for those minutes, okay? Let me do my work. And they were going to report the story. Then they were like, that ain't a good look. This ESPN NFL relationship, that 10% is costing ESPN a lot. NFL like, oh, well. NFL like, that is y'all fault. Y'all faces on all of this story or lack of coverage. Not the NFL. The NFL like, it's not a personal conduct issue. Bye-bye. Meanwhile, ESPN is getting lit up every day for stuff like, we're turning a blind eye.
What I've got instead for you, in my opinion, is a much bigger deal. I just posted this article over on my Twitter, Tony's Market Tips. Go to the articles tab. Old Steve Levy remark looks suspicious in light of Russini Vrabel scandal. Did ESPN know? Here's some context for you. 2020. This is during COVID, by the way. Remember that.
Damn.
2020. Dianna Russini lands an interview with Mike Vrabel and Mike Tomlin. She likes those named Mikes, by the way.
My mic sounds nice. Check one. There's a big joke in there that I shouldn't make, but I'm going to make it. We know she likes mics. Microphones.
She lands this interview with both of them on Sunday morning during COVID lockdowns. And during Sunday NFL Countdown, Samantha Ponder makes a remark and says, that's really impressive that she was able to get 2 NFL coaches on a Sunday morning during COVID restrictions. That's near impossible.
Oh, y'all get the tone? Y'all get the sarcasm? I'm sure he's going to get to that, but I've worked there before. Before we go back live on air, everybody's sitting there like, do you see this? They think we stupid. Like, you know the people, you know the story, whatever it may be, and then you just read it. Trey Wingo was the king of this. Trey Wingo would always joke or put some, like, pointed parts into every story. And if you followed those breadcrumbs, you knew where Trey was coming from. Get it?
Steve Levy follows up with this tweet and says, good job, Sam Ponder, pointing out how near impossible it is in 2020 to get a pregame interview with an NFL head coach. And Dianna got both Tomlin and Vrabel.
Let me put that right back on, because let me just tell you the spirit this could be taken in. It could be taken literally like he wrote it, but I don't know if people run the social to just say, wow, you got a great get. They usually run a social and say, how'd she get that get? Social media is spiky for a reason. It's laced with some issues. Good job, Sam Ponder, pointing out. So Sam says it like, yeah. First of all, you know how women roll. There's no greater enemy than their own. Like girls love to hate each other. They do. They just do, right? That's why as a man, if you're single, if you ever want to get a girl, actually, if you want to get all the girls, just get a girl. Yeah. Because then all the girls going to compete against her to try and get you. It's weird. It really works. So anyway, Sam Ponder, who didn't she have a unglorious like exit from ESPN? Didn't they fire her or something happened or politics? Something. Beat up in the comments. Something is going off. My spidey sense going off. Anyway, good job, Sam. Pointing out how near impossible it is in 2020 to get a pregame interview with an NFL head coach. And I don't know how Dianna gets both Tomlin and Vrabel. Yeah, I guarantee you, I don't even need a lie detector test. They in on it. They like, okay, let's just put it out there. And this is plausible deniability. I cannot convict them of this. There's reasonable doubt and perception. But also, this is throwing rocks and hiding your hands. Ain't nobody that stupid, though. They ain't putting out these tweets just because Dianna got coaches. It's a show of interviews. Y'all think y'all slick. At the time, of course, it lasted 6 years without anybody catching it. Now we like, breadcrumbs.
Tomlin and Vrabel. You guys, did ESPN know about this affair? Was this a dog whistle communication between...
Now, be careful saying ESPN. I don't like doing that. I like saying ESPN, but it's really Sam. It's really Steve. It's like it's not John Skipper at the time or whoever. It's not that. It's these people on air who know these people, rock with these people, around these people, and ain't stupid. Ain't stupid.
Steve Levy and Sam Ponder. Remember, there is evidence already that this relationship was sort of an open secret. I published an article to Twitter talking about how there's a bunch of Twitter comments going back to 2020 of just everyday Joes on Twitter or people's burner accounts making comments about the romantic relationship between Vrabel and Russini and about them being too close. We have Pablo Torres finds out. His podcast talks about this pool party with the NFL coaches and their wives and how they were kind of talking about Mike Vrabel and Dianna Russini.
It's impossible to be around people that are flirting, that are married, and not be like, yo, y'all doing too much. Now, you could say they're doing too much in public, and then privately they haven't messed around. I've seen that. I have seen that example of like, y'all getting it in, and the dude like, nah, dog. I was like, y'all doing a lot. Y'all just doing a lot. Maybe they need that attention. Some people want public attention, and privately, nothing's cracking. Y'all know that. We've all been in the friend zone. You're in the friend zone with somebody, but in public, she acting like it's going down. And then you're like, all right, so do we crack the code on the friend zone? She's like, no, we just had a good time. Relax.
If it was an open secret that these two were in a relationship, is it that hard to believe that ESPN also knew about it? And if ESPN knew that their newlywed employee, she was married for 1 month before this interview took place, their newlywed employee was having an extremely inappropriate relationship with an NFL head coach, and it was benefiting them, did they look the other way?
That's a tough place to dig. Like, there's HR for protecting the workforce, and it's HR to protect, obviously, the entity. That's a tough conversation to have. Hey, come here. I think you and Vrabel doing too much. What's cracking? Tell the truth. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, you already know that all you're going to do is incite something that you can't prove. We're doing nothing. What do you mean? I just do my work, and oh my God, why are you coming at me? This is so sexist. And so I don't think they had that conversation. I think they probably was on notice. Anybody was on notice. Steve Levy, Sam Ponder on notice. But what can you do? Like, unless you catch them in the room with a camera, like, everything else is going to be lied about. Look at all the steps she took after they found out and they found those pictures of her interlocking hands. We were dummies. This was laughable. There's a girls' trip. There's people there that wasn't there. Like, look how much she made up. So imagine if you are ESPN, you bring her in 2020. You know the lies she would have told. So I don't think any upside to that.
We know it was benefiting them, right? We know that in March of 2020, they were in a dimly lit bar, kissing. 7 months later, she lands in Steve Levy's words, near impossible interview with Mike Vrabel. So there's no question ESPN was benefiting from this inappropriate relationship.
I will say this. There's no doubt. Look, this is not illegal. Ethical, moral, have your conversations. I'm just saying this. ESPN wins in this. Dianna wins in this. You are connected to an NFL coach. Do you know the information and pillow talk you're getting no one else is getting? You can say, well, how you know they talked about it? I don't. But the point is, you have the opportunity to talk about it in a way that nobody else does. That's why they don't want you fraternizing at work like that, because they know you can go there. The person's compromised. They like you. They going to go far for you. You know what he told him about some closed-door NFL's head coaching stuff, or what's going on with the Patriots or Titans at the time? Like, and then you know how smart she sounds if she's talking to a real NFL head coach? This ain't no guesswork. This ain't no, hey, welcome to Titan Stadium. Today, I don't know if Derrick Henry's going to play. This is pure dope. Cocaine.
The question is, did they know, like other people on Twitter seemed to know, and like these NFL coaches and their wives seem to kind of be talking about a little bit? If ESPN knew and looked the other way, and they've known this whole time, remember, she covered the Titans for 3 more years after that interview for ESPN. If ESPN knew, it might explain why they've been acting so funny lately. It might explain why they ignored this story for 2 full weeks.
I think it does them no good to do this story because of the NFL relationship, and also maybe somebody there didn't know and they're like, look, we don't want to open up that can of worms. But I'm not going to act stupid like I know why they're doing it. It's okay. It just makes me look at you like, oh, okay, that's what you chose in terms of values. It's okay. I'm still going to watch ESPN. I was watching yesterday. Like, I just know what I'm watching. I just know what you are.
It might explain why ESPN, when they finally did acknowledge the story, posted it to their reporter's Twitter account with 8,000 followers instead of their Twitter account with over 50 million followers on a Friday night right before the playoffs.
Look, if everybody's cheated before, everybody's been lied on. I hope everybody's cheated. I mean, like, even your tests. I'm not talking about just relationships. I'm like, 3rd grade, you're like, hey, what's number 1? You know what I mean? Like, everybody's cheated before. And when you get caught cheating, the first thing you do is lie, because they go together. They Batman and Robin. Then after you lie, then you realize, does that lie work, or do I need to tell the truth because it's going to be easier to tell the truth? I mean, we all been through this. So ESPN, we ain't nobody trying to ask you to do something we ain't do, which is lie.
It might explain why ESPN has only mentioned the word Vrabel 1 time since April 1st, despite the Ramondre Stevens incident with the Bible, despite Mike Vrabel having 2 press conferences, 4 different separate photo dumps. They mentioned Vrabel 1 time on their Twitter account with 50 million followers.
1 time.
Really strange behavior for a media company to be acting this way, and I think I might have just figured out why.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're all into the clicks, the views, the virality, the biggest stories, the best stories. To be a network and you're like, we ain't touching this story. Do you know if they would have said, hey, hands on instead of hands off that story, how many views and like the coverage? Like the Ime Udoka had us all caught up in it to the point where Malika was beefing with Stephen A. and she tried to check Stephen A. He had to check her back. Like, they did that for Ime Udoka. You imagine if it's Vrabel and he was just in the Super Bowl and he's a former player and it's Russini who's a reporter. We didn't even know the lady Udoka was messing with. We were like some executive's wife. We know Russini. This thing had meat. And they were like, nope, we're not hungry.
Was this dog whistle communication between Steve Levy and Samantha Ponder? Maybe Samantha Ponder, another female personality on ESPN, was kind of passive-aggressively throwing some shade and saying, oh, yeah, Dianna, I wonder how you were able to pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a dog whistle comment because people in the know, like maybe Steve Levy and ESPN executives, would know what she meant by that. But to the everyday audience, it would go right over our heads. And it did indeed, I believe, go right over our heads because we just found this tweet 6 years later. Maybe Steve Levy was aware of it and Samantha Ponder wasn't. Maybe they were both aware of it. But this leaves us with a lot of questions. I got some questions for you, Steve Levy.
Blah, blah, blah. Man. The story just keeps continuing. I'm not going to say when we're going to get off that story. It's when the story, we're going to say when that story dead, when that story's dead. It's not dead just yet. It's getting critical condition, though. It's certainly enough. But Dianna, if she would have played her cards different, because no one could have proved she messed with him. They could have just proved y'all doing too much. But her guilt made her go too far. And that's why police laugh at criminals, because they're like, I don't have to say a word. And I've told you, you don't have to say a word. I gave you your Miranda rights. I read them to you. But your guilt is louder than these Miranda rights. And that's why I know you in the back of that car. Yeah, you quiet now. You're going to get in that station. You quiet then. You're going to get in that interrogation room. You quiet then. You get in that holding tank. You quiet then. Then we're going to take you to a cell. It's starting to get a little loud in there. That guilt start talking, man. You start making up scenarios that no one is thinking of. There's no perfect crime. There could be a perfect cover-up. There could be. But you ain't going to think of it by yourself because you're not thinking what they thinking. That's the genius of it. That's why the cells are full. That's why the prisons are full. All she had to do is she should have played that woman card but not say it. Just play it. Like, dog, I've been cheated on by a woman before, and I swear I still don't know what happened. But she said she told me, and I was like, oh, okay, that tracks. All they got to do is just make sure your big macro logical points add up. And then you're like, oh, okay. She didn't tell you. Being real, because you have also been the one that, ooh, what we doing? Ooh, and you gonna tell him? No, I ain't gonna tell him. How he gonna know? Who said he gonna know? What? It happened to me in the 8th grade. I already told that story before. I'll do it again later, another time. All right, now I want to have some, what the hell? Oh, that 8th grade story hurt me. I was like, oh, y'all kissing? What? Real spit. Man, we rocking on this show right now. I want to stop. Yeah, let's do our Q&A and let's get up out of here. My itty bitty still got to go to school. Okay, so right now we're going to have a new little segment. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes. I want y'all to beat it up in the comments. Any question you have, let's go. Please make them like you know how the show is. We crazy over here. Have a topic that we could talk about. Like, don't give me something crazy. Don't talk about some like Bartman or something. I don't know what the hell Bartman is. So we'll do that, and then we get up out of here. As make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and become a member. Okay, all the above. Oh, we didn't do our top 10 offensive linemen of all time. We definitely got to do that. All right, so here we go. First one, Brian Untitled says, what do you think about Allison Felix coming out of retirement? Realistically, can she make the U.S. Olympic team? Man, she struggled last time to make the team. It was, look, we all had charity for her and respect and empathy, but it was a struggle. But she made it. Women's times don't really, like, they don't flirt with FloJo like that. They don't flirt with in the 100, 200, 400. They're not flirting with it like that. Like, is she going to make the U.S. Olympic team? I say no. But I think, to my point and to her reality, that's why she's trying. Allison Felix is sitting there right now saying, these times ain't moving. Like the men, it's a whole different animal. There are high schoolers running 9.9. Like, you ain't making no team just, you're not going to wake up and say, oh, I was retired, but let me come back. Them high schoolers are like, no. Pass me the baton, OG. But in the women's game, it's not. It's still girls out there running 11 flat and winning. You know, they're not killing it like that. So I think that she's thinking there's still an opening. So she may do it. She may do it. Respect. I love y'all, man. Appreciate you. Last question in here. It's a few of them, but I'm not about to read all of them. I love y'all. Y'all not staying on topic. All right, that's the last one I'm gonna read right now. Y'all are off topic. Love for you guys. Have a great one. Y'all know it's 6:30. Got to go get these itty bitties. So tomorrow I'll have some better questions. Damn it. Oh man, unreal how this game goes. Golly, that made me feel weird just watching them do that. I'm trying to get up out of here. Y'all know me. I don't know how to close this show off yet. One day I will. One day I will. Beat up in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a member, and then we're going to get up out of here. Where is, oh, there we go. It is right here. I'm blind. Okay. Love you guys. Have a great day. Get off. And make sure you like the video, okay? Okay? Okay. I am messing up right now. This is not a smooth outro. If I was a DJ right now at the party, I'd be like, man, what DJ such and such, sorry ass. Peace.
It's been a decade plus that I knew that this day was going to come.
Oh, this is not hyperbole here.
Because I think